Basically,
Oh man.
I can give my rendition of it if you want.
Perfect. Great. That would be a great start because that was literally going to be my next question. Okay. Like, we don't have a problem
Yeah,
with
because
evil. What's your problem with evil?
yeah, I take it that like the problem of evil is either there's if you so the if you think there are events that should not have happened, right? I take that to be incompatible with the existence of a triomni being. Right? So either you drop that there either you say every event should have happened, there's no evil, or you say there's no triomni being. But you can't hold both. They'd be incompatible. That's basically what my position.
Are you making of like a fine-tuning argument or something?
No.
No, I think his argument is if God is all good and all powerful, then evil should not exist.
Yeah, as in like things that just first we understand the idea of saying something shouldn't have happened. Like if I look back, right, and I see like the Holocaust, we'll say like this event should not have happened. And there are some events that we'll look back on and we'll say they should have happened, right? So if somebody like donates to charity, we'll look back at we'll say yeah, they should have done that. And we wouldn't prevent it if we could rewind time back or something.
So
And I'm just
so
saying
I
like
have
well, real quick, just to
I
round up here. I just want to say like if you think there are things that shouldn't have happened, I take that to be incompatible with the existence of a triumphant being.
so I have a rundown of how this all happened. So God wants he wants creatures to love him, and in order to have love, we need the free will to leave God. And if we pick, and some humans will choose to leave God, and God is all good, leaving God means there's a lack of good, therefore evil exists.
Okay, do you think there are events that occur that shouldn't have happened?
I mean that those people left God, therefore
No, like
the
for
lack of
example,
good happened.
would you say that the Holocaust shouldn't have happened? Would you hold that position?
I mean, the moment one person leaves God, like pain and
Wait, hold
suffering
up. Can I?
is
Sorry to
there.
cut you off, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Can I get a direct answer? Do you think the Holocaust shouldn't have happened?
But it did happen.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't know
asking
how
if
to
it did. All right, so
I don't
it did happen,
know
ought to have
that's
happened.
I mean that's not I'm not even sure how, like
You're not sure if the Holocaust should have happened.
I mean, the problem is it
I
did
guess
happen.
not. I
Okay,
mean
so
it
so
the ought to is no one leaving God. Like so
wait, but
like
wait, hold on,
like
please.
one so here's the thing, like
Hold on.
there in this scenario there's no
You're
big
not
or small
directly.
sin. So
I look.
the moment
Please,
you
I have to get a direct answer. Please, I just need a direct answer. Yes or no? Do you think the Holocaust shouldn't have happened? Just yes or no.
I mean
Yeah,
I
but
guess not, but
life is
that's like
complicated.
asking
Morality
no
isn't black
one.
and white. If you have
Okay,
a
hold on.
black
Yeah,
and white
but here's the thing.
binary
Here's the
view of
thing.
the world, then
Like
Hold on.
no
sounds like
Okay,
it's
one
a you
should have left
problem.
God. No one
hold
should
on.
have left God.
Okay. It shouldn't have happened, right? So I take it that if an event shouldn't have happened, right? That means that that event isn't necessary for the greater goods. Okay, so
No.
let's just talk about that principle for a second.
Oh
But so we can talk about
no,
it in
no.
a sec.
You're no.
Hold on.
This
Just
is
calm down.
ridiculous.
Just hold on. Just please, just calm down. You've been interrupting, like going wild, like for the last 10 minutes. Just
No,
calm
it's
down.
actually you, man. You know this
Okay,
conversation's being recorded, right?
just
So you
sure,
need
record
you're
it.
the one
Fine.
yeah,
Send me
you're
the
the one that's
recording.
spurging out.
Yeah, send me the recording afterwards. Just
You
calm down,
keep
please.
asking us
You're
questions
bringing us
and then
down
like
like
you
the
won't let
wrong.
us like answer.
Fine,
And then
whatever. Okay,
when we start trying to answer, you start gaslighting us that we're
okay,
cutting you off.
okay. I'll ask you for the recording later. So I take it that if you say an event should have happened, um, that's to say that the event is not necessary. Sorry, if you say an event shouldn't have happened, that's to say that the event is not necessary for greater goods. Otherwise, it should have happened. And if you have an event
So
like that, one sec. Okay, so you disagree with what I just said.
Well, how about this?
I have an
It
answer
sounds like you're making a
to what you're
deductive
saying.
argument now. Would you mind writing it out? premise.
I
One
already have
premise.
the
So
argument. I already have
an
the argument.
answer.
I have it. I can just post it.
Yeah. Can you do that?
I have an explanation on what's going on,
Because
right?
I don't think you're able to verbally explain your position clearly. So just write it out.
There, us, us people, us humans, us creatures, have chose to leave God, and
No, don't
that's
ramble.
why
You're
we.
repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself. Stop
Yeah,
rambling.
no, I mean, hold on, no, I'm
Dude, you're
not.
just giving this like
I
dumb
mean,
ramble. We've
no,
heard it already.
no.
We've heard it already.
Supreme, he's looking for the
We live.
metaphysic. Supreme.
Yeah,
He wants you to
Dude,
start
just
I
from
stop.
mean,
Stop. Okay.
existence.
that's why
I
we
put there's
live
the
in
argument.
dude. Oh my goodness. Okay, the re. Okay,
No.
some people
Wait, can
have.
I just
There
talk?
it
By the way,
is.
can I just talk to Abysno? By the way, because it seems like you're freaking
No.
out.
This is, you know what? I yield to Supreme. You can talk to
No,
Supreme on this one.
dude. This
Yeah,
guy
for
does
this
not.
one.
This guy's just yapping. Come on. Look,
No,
you
I'm
seem
not.
to at least be smarter than him. So I'll talk to you.
No,
I'm adding to my statement.
Supreme is actually
You
trying to give you some leeway, right? So I'm gonna allow him to
Okay.
talk
Well,
because I think
you can just say which premise you disagree with.
it doesn't matter.
No,
Now that
I'm
we've gotten it out from
explaining
you,
the
So
Supreme,
you're
world.
asking me for the argument, and it doesn't matter which premise you deny. Like what? Why'd you even ask for the argument then?
You're asking the existence of evil. That's the main question
Hold
you're
on.
asking.
My claim, and I said my claim very clearly when I came here, is that either you have it the case that like an event isn't evil, or so in other words,
Oh, guys.
if you think there are things that shouldn't have happened, right? I take that to be incompatible with the existence of a triomni being. That's my claim. Okay. So in other words, the existence of pro-toto evil is incompatible with a triomni being. And the argument I give, if you're questioning how my argument shows it, well, my argument just shows that either you have an event, either every event is not proto evil, or it's prevented by God. So it follows that there couldn't be an event that is proto evil and not prevented by God. Right. So that's just how I'm
I
getting there.
but the reason why all of these things happen is because God chose to make a world where creatures have free will,
Which premise are
being
you
able to
denying?
leave Him.
Which premise are you denying?
Like just because God is Ami
Which
doesn't mean
premise are
like.
you? You guys were asking for the argument. I gave it to you formalized. So which premise are you going to deny?
Can I type this out?
I typed. It's in the chat. I
Okay.
just posted it.
All right.
I don't get it. Like, why do you ask for the argument if you're just gonna like somebody gives it and you're just gonna like stay silent? What's the point of asking for it?
Yeah, stop asking for it. Just gonna give it to you instead.
Oh my goodness. Let me flip and read this.
Yeah, Cartesian, what's the argument for God?
Oh, this guy's a troll, by the way.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say you're a complete troll, but you are a troll insofar as like you ask this question all the time when you know like I'm not an atheist. I'm not a theist. Sorry.
Well, you're not atheist. Okay, that makes sense then. You just said you're not an atheist.
Okay, man. Okay. This guy has to calm down. Look,
I just
but
can't
like
take you
it's
serious, man. You said a reductio ad absurdum just to do something that you find absurd prior to that. That's
no.
crazy.
Hold up. Jesus Christ. Do you know there a reductio ad absurdum?
Jesus Christ! Oh my
in
god, there's
in a
so many
in a
different types of
in a
reductios.
context
Holy
in a
fuck!
context hold on in a context where you're talking about ethics, a reductio ad absurdum is a morally absurd conclusion,
Oh my god.
right? A conclusion. So in other words, right, there are going to be normative truths about what you ought not do, and a reductio ad absurdum ad absurdum in that context, it's when you affirm a position that is like vastly out of accord with the moral truths. That's what a reductio would be.
Yeah, so vastly out of chords would be priority once
So
again. All a reductio ad absurdum would just be finding some sort of contradiction within one's
Hold up.
argument.
There's
I
so
He
you're
ethical can be.
hold
equivocating.
up.
You're
Both
equivocating on
premises
reductio ad
I
absurdum.
reject.
You're queefing. Like, dude, shut the fuck
I
up.
don't know why you're freaking out, but you're just equivocating. Like, do
I
you
am
think you have
freaking
some
out.
point
You have a
here?
problem with that? You have a
You're
problem
just
with freaking out?
equivocating.
What?
Like it's
What's
like
the
you're
problem with me
social
freaking out?
unaware.
Wait.
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
What started
Whoever
with
is
that?
talking here.
I reject the two premises. Let me get to premise
Oh,
number
you
three.
reject both premises.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with premise 1. Okay. Do you understand what do you understand what proto evil is? Or do you understand what it is to say something shouldn't have happened?
Dude,
Huh?
the word shouldn't is not really something I'm like thinking about for this because it
Okay,
doesn't
then.
matter. Like
Evil
like a
here,
lack of good
evil is being
exists,
defined as that
and
which
there.
should not. Evil here is defined as that which should not happen.
I mean, that's not my definition. My definition is less.
My
Like
claim is
good
that
has been removed.
my claim originally is that if you believe that things should not happen, that's incompatible with a triomni being existing. That's my claim. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I disagree.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so why is P1 true? Well, P1 is rather trivial because a greater good is by definition a good that outweighs, any evil that might come about from an event. Okay, so in other words, it justifies that event. And so if you allow if there is some evil event that's necessary for the greater good, then if you're questioning should that event have occurred, the answer would be yes, because there's no way to get the outweighing good without allowing that event to occur. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you allow an evil event for a greater good, then yeah,
Hold on. Not just allowing it for a greater good, if it's necessary for that greater good.
That's
Because
the
you could
whole
allow
world
it
is
for a
not
greater good, and
necessary,
you could
dude.
allow it.
So you,
Hold on.
I
You
reject
could
the
hold
world
on.
as
Calm down.
necessary.
Calm down. You could allow something for a greater good, but it might not be necessary for the greater good, right? In that
So
case, it would
he
be
just
evil.
answered you,
Yeah.
right? What exists isn't necessary.
No,
That's
I'm
his
just
answer.
asking. Hold on. We're just trying to figure out if P1 is true right now.
No,
P1 just says,
So
he gave you the answer. You're trying. No, you're gish
hold on.
galloping now. You're
Just hold
gish
on. Just hold
galloping.
on.
He
Just hold
answered you.
on. Hold on. Just calm down, please.
You don't like the
Okay,
answer just
I
because you don't like
reject the
the
world
answer.
within.
buddy, whoa. Hold on, just calm down. Okay, P1 is saying that if you have an event, right, and it's necessary for the greater good, that event is not
Yeah,
evil in the
that's
proto
not the
sense.
meaning of necessary. That's not the meaning of necessary.
What do you think when I say yes, sir? I'm just saying there's
So
no
what you're
way
doing is
it's
you're
hold
begging the question, right?
on.
You're actually
No, it's
begging the
not. You don't know
question
what that means. You
about
don't know what begging the
what the
question means. You
definition
don't
of
know what begging the question
necessity
So
means.
is. That's
Hold
what
on.
you're doing.
When I say it's
That's not an
necessary for a
argument
greater
for
good,
necessity, right?
when I say it's necessary for a greater good, I'm
No, but you
saying
still
that
haven't defined necessary yet. What do you find necessary?
I'm about
So
to,
what's
but
really
you're too
necessary?
scared to let me
Metaphysically necessary
talk.
or normally
Okay.
necessary?
I'm saying that it's impossible to attain the greater good without allowing that event to occur. Right? Now, a greater good is by definition something that should happen. And so if you have an event that's
No,
necessary for that, then that
that's not
event
the definition of greater good. You have to
okay,
establish
is a
what is
greater good something that
necessary.
should happen?
You have to establish what is necessary in order to have greater goods. Like if you're
Hold
gonna
up. But,
right,
okay,
here's the
do you
thing.
agree?
Like
Hold on,
you're just question
hold on.
begging, right? Because
Hold
you're
Okay,
on,
begging
okay,
the
you
bruh.
don't
question
know what
on
that
what is
means. You don't know what
necessary,
question begging
free
and you're
means.
will
also
and
question begging
greater
on
good
what
is
is
not the
good.
same thing.
Maybe I shouldn't have talked to this moron. Okay, do
No,
you
no, I
think
mean,
that
you're the moron here, right? Because
okay,
your premise is just a form of question begging,
do you
right?
think that the greater
No
good
event is both evil and
oh
necessary for the
no.
good. So you're
Oh no.
assuming in your first premise that both what is evil and what is necessary both exist, right? So this is called
What?
subject-object
No,
dualism,
what?
right? No, yeah,
What?
you're a dualist. Sir,
You're just
you're a dualist.
gibbering.
You're a
This is all
metaphysical
gibberish.
dualist. It's not
This is
gibberish
just a
at
bunch
all.
of
Gibberish,
gibberish.
nigga.
What are you talking
You're
about?
a dualist. You believe, right? In your first premise, you're assuming that both evil and what is necessary already exist.
That's not what
So
dualism means. You don't know what you're
you're
talking about.
equivocating between
Isn't dualism to
your
do with the
first
mind? What?
premise, your
It's what
first
are you
premise
talking about?
equivocates, your first premise equivocates between evil and
Debate Lord, I
necessity.
haven't explained myself.
Cartesian, you're stuck in a spiral, man. Like you don't see the
Wait,
you don't even
unmute
see
him,
the
man.
circularity in your first premise.
Wait,
No
unmute
event,
Cartesian. I
right?
think he's retarded.
So
Though.
you're
Like, let him
predicating
speak.
of event is both evil and necessary. Yeah, wow. Oh, no, he's still here. So, do you see your first premise? It's not a good construction of a premise. You're contradicting yourself in the first premise.
Okay. Do you think the greater good should happen?
Like, hold on. It does that. Okay. You're still not hearing. So, in your first premise, right? The question is, right, is whether evil exists or not, right? Because you're asking theodicy. And in your first premise, you're assuming that evil exists, right? And that what is necessary also exists. Do you not see the problem with the first premise?
My argument doesn't assume that evil exists.
Your first premise does. And
No, it
then
doesn't.
your conclusion is every event is either not evil or is prevented by God.
You know, do you understand how logic works?
Well, okay, well then write can you write
Do you
this in
understand?
symbolic logic? No. You're just detracting now.
I can give you the
Like
logical
I
form if you
literally
want.
pulled apart your first premise. Clearly, right? I understand how logic works. What I'm saying is that you're equivocating between evil and necessary. So you don't have
You understand if I say
predication. You don't have predication in your
you don't know
first
what you're talking
premise.
about.
You don't have
If I
predication in your first
there is
premise.
predication in the first premise.
So you're assuming, right, in your first premise that no event, so the set of no event, right, of there not being an event, right, is both evil and necessary, right? How can something that doesn't exist be both evil and necessary?
You
Do you
don't
see
know
how
how
this
logic works.
the
You're
first
saying
premise is the first premise, right?
you're
I mean, we may
confused.
believe that this is true, but we reject the first premise.
You're confused. You're saying that in the set of all events, none of them are both evil
No.
and
In the
necessary for
set
greater good.
of
You don't know
no
what you're
event,
talking about.
your
No,
subject
no,
here
you don't
is
know
the
how
null
logic works. You
event
don't know how
is
logic works.
both
Just calm
evil
down.
and necessary for the greater good.
There's a set of look. There would be a set of
How
there
can you
would be
have
a
a
set of events.
non-event
Okay.
that
There would be a
is
set. You
both
don't know what a
evil
negative
and necessary?
existential. You don't know how negative
Then
existentials work. This
write
is
the symbolic logic.
here's the symbolic form. That's the symbolic form. You see it? All right, that's the symbolic form, right? You don't know how a negative existential works. You have a set. It's not empty. It's the domain. And when you say if a negative existential is true, with regards to a given relation, then what you're saying is that there's no object in the domain that satisfies the relation. This is like honestly such basic stuff. I'm surprised that I'd have to educate you on it. But look, right? So premise one does not assume that there's evil, you fucking moron. It's a negative existential, right? It
That's
can
not
be
even that's
true
not even the correct
if there's
symbology.
no evil, it's going to be
But
fucking
the thing
true, you
is you're not
moron.
even. I'm
Of
looking at it
course,
right
it's not
now.
going to eat.
You're
It's not
not
going to
even
assume
following the
evil will
formula.
exist.
That's the
Wait,
Fucking
can
problem.
I?
moron.
Yo,
You're not even
Cartesian,
following the
just
formula,
relax a
man.
second. Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So
I,
you're using upwards caret, right? That means or else. That doesn't mean
I'm
and.
I'm
Yeah.
using what?
You're using upwards caret. That means or else. In your actual statement, you use the word and.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it might be it's a Discord thing. I don't know. It,
No, you lost.
no,
You're a
no, no, no.
loser.
Sorry,
Your
no,
first premise still is trash.
no, no. I see.
Can
Oh,
you?
I see. Wait, which part? Wait, say it again. Which part are you talking
You
about?
said you put upwards caret in your first premise, right? That means
That's
or
This
and
else.
like you
that's
What
the
that?
can't.
conjunction symbol. Are you like
That mean?
retarded?
No, that means or else.
That's the fucking conjunction symbol, retard.
Here, I'll literally put it in chat for you so you can.
Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Just read a basic logic text. Fuck you, fucking
Yeah, there
moron.
you go. There you go.
Why are you so
Just put it in chat
insecure,
for you.
man? You're like so defensive, Cartesian.
What are you disputing in the table I just put?
Wait, that's not the conjunction. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bro,
That's
can
not
you
the conjunction. Look at what you said. You're so fucking stupid. In the table you wrote, right? So they're
yeah.
using the dot as a conjunction symbol. So and they're using the dot here, which is sometimes used, right? But you also and that what I just put is also this conjunction symbol, and it's more commonly used in the dot symbol. And what you have here, that's not even the fucking symbol that I'm using, you fucking moron. So I don't even know
How
what
would
you're
I know
talking
what
about. You're
symbol
like
you're
one of
using
the
if you're using
dumbest people
non-standard
ever.
symbols? You're
Why would
using
you
non-standard
like come up
symbols.
here when you don't even know what you're talking about
So
and
then
embarrass
you're
yourself like
using
this?
non-standard symbols. How could I
It's
know what
not
symbols you're using?
non-standard. Read any logic textbook.
So then
Fucking
send me your
retard.
fucking table right now that says it.
Just read any
Send me
logic
your
textbook.
table.
Okay,
Send me
here
the counterfactual.
I'll
Give me the
recommend you some.
counterfactual. Give me the
What do you mean
counterfactual. No,
counterfactual?
no,
What do you
stop
think a
pontificating.
counterfactual is?
Stop
What's a counterfactual?
pontificating. Stop
What's a
pontificating.
counterfactual? What's a
Stop
counterfactual?
pontificating.
What
Give
is a
me the table
counterfactual?
that you're using.
No,
The table you're
you just
using.
said send me the
Give me the
counterfactual.
table
What's a
you're
counterfactual?
using. Give me the
What's a
table you're
counterfactual?
using. The
Okay.
counterfactual would be the correct table, which is what you're postulating.
You
So give me it.
what? No, define a counterfactual.
The counter to the fact that is what I'm presenting.
Okay. A counterfactual is a subjunctive conditional when the antecedent isn't being
Can you
assumed in
stop
discourse or is
pontificating and
false.
give me the
You don't
table that
even
you're
know what
using?
you're talking
Give
about.
me
You're
the
just
table
saying a bunch
give
of
me the
random
table.
stuff.
Just give me
Okay.
the table that
I'll
you're using
recommend
then.
I'll name a bunch
Just
of
Your
post it in
textbooks.
chat.
syllogism
Stop
Hold
is
on,
just a
pontificating.
calm
bunch of
down.
random stuff.
Just
Calm
give
down.
me
Just
the
I'm gonna
table
mishmash a
in
name
bunch of
chat.
random stuff,
calm
and you didn't
down. I'll
follow the
I'm
name the
fucking.
perfectly
sources.
calm, Cartesian. You're the one
Okay,
that's
let's name
upset right now.
some.
Just give me the
Let's name
table.
some. Okay, let's
Give
name
me the
some.
table. Just put it in
Okay.
chat. Just put a
So
picture of the table in chat.
I'm not gonna
Just
okay,
put a
so
picture of the
here are
table
some
in chat.
books.
I don't
Herbert B.
want the books. Just
Engerton,
put a
A
table.
Mathematical
Put the table
Introduction
you're
to
using.
Mathematical Logic.
Put the
We'll use the
table you're
conjunction
using.
symbol that way.
Put the table you're
Frolix,
using.
Calgary.
Why can't you just
All right,
answer the
you're muted
question?
for filibustering, Cartesian.
Why can you not just answer the question? Just put the table that you're using. I gave you the table that I use, right? And so I'm asking you to give me the table that you use. It's that simple.
My ultimate claim is God wants free will, and that's why we live in the world we do.
Free will is not
He's
possible.
not
I
asking a
don't
free will
understand.
question.
Yeah, I don't really
I
understand
mean
the problem
that
that I'm
explains
asking.
evil. No, the original question, the problem of evil.
The problem is he's not asking an epistemological question. He's not asking a free will like question. He's not asking a metaphysical question either.
I
So
mean,
like,
I guess, but like
yeah, he's asking an analytic one.
I mean, I want to explain how the world works, not like I don't know, fuck.
Yeah, so like what I was trying to say, Supreme, is when he I guess like funneled you right into
Yeah,
admitting whether should claims are like moral claims are necessary or not. That's kind of where you kind of like followed him down this track, right?
And just to be clear as
It's
right.
well,
better it's
just to
better
be
when they're asking you like whether something should or should not have happened. You have to create the metaphysical foundation first, because usually when people start asking questions like that, they actually don't have a metaphysical foundation for anything that they're saying.
Okay.
So
Real quick,
if you
real
want
no,
quick.
I don't. Okay, I
if
just
you
want
want
to.
the
Can I say
conversation to
one
be
Wait,
thing?
real
open
quick.
to metaphysical
Can I
claims, you
say
have to
one
keep
thing
that
really
door
quick?
open for yourself, or
Well,
you're just
So
gonna end up
let me
number
talk
like
after
one.
because I was
Yeah,
muted.
yeah,
It's
I
my
All right,
should
well,
have
you can
never
talk
answered
right
that
after. You can
so
talk
question.
right after. So
well,
I just want to
I
say
was
two
muted
things, right?
first, so I
Number
want to
one.
say something real quick.
So
So
number
I
one, right?
posted a
No, no,
table.
no. Hold on. Let me
I
finish my
posted a
sentence.
mathematical
No,
logic
hold on,
standard,
Cartesian.
I
Enderton,
want to
right?
point something
So I
out really quick.
Stop
So
talking
really
over,
quick,
please.
right? The problem is that number one, Abismo asked you for the modal logic, and you gave the
Right,
tautology. And
right.
then not only that,
Yeah, and
but
that's
what
yeah, yeah.
you don't know what modal logic is. What is it?
I just posted it in chat. So if you
No,
look in
what
the
is
left,
you don't know what you're talking about. You're
Yeah,
saying
you
words
don't
you
know
do
what you're
not
yo,
understand.
Cartesian,
it's
stop
it's a
projecting,
You
it's a
sir.
said a
type it's a way
counterfactual.
No,
where
you're
you can form
gaslighting now.
logic into
Stop
symbols.
gaslighting.
It's a
Just
way
hear what
where
he
you
has
can
to say.
form logic into symbols, right? So if you look on the left side of the table, that's the modal logic, and then the middle portion is the tautology, right? You gave the tautology.
Yeah.
And not only that, but nobody's just disputing that it's a conjunction or not. That wasn't what we said. What I'm saying is that your actual original premise is not a conjunction. And then your second tautology that you gave is a conjunction. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that it's not, they're not representing the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why you got so defensive about like us attacking the premises, because like it's okay if like we can like go through and find a flaw within the premise construction, and then you can modify it if you want, because we're
Oh,
already
and
down
actually,
this road.
yeah.
Grizzly, your microphone is not working. Or is this background noise? Peter.
Okay, yeah. So actually what's gonna happen is we're gonna go through everything. Because funny enough, this guy is mentioning terms like counterfactual. We found out he doesn't know what that means. He's mentioning terms like modal logic. He does not know what that word means. And frankly speaking, I posted a mathematical logic
Yeah, but
standard
those are all
from
non
oh, hold on,
sequiturs, man.
hold on. I
Those
was
are
muted.
all ad
Can I get a
hominems, dude.
chance? Can I get a chance to talk
No,
here?
because you're just filibustering, man.
I'm responding to what was
He's
said about
busting
the
all
logic.
over you,
So
dude.
there was a
No,
dispute over
Stick with the
there was a dispute
argument.
there was a dispute over whether I'm
Are you
using
gonna
standard.
deny? Okay, well,
There's
here's
a
the thing.
hold up. Well,
Cartesian,
now you're talking over. You're too scared to let.
Cartesian. So now, and you just keep stacking ad hom after ad hom. Okay, so here's where we're at in the conversation right now, right? He's rejecting your second premise. Your first premise, first of all, is not a premise, and then he's rejecting your second premise because he believes it's a tautology. So that's where we're at. Can you explain, defend, or clarify why he would be incorrect in assuming that the second premise is a tautology? Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Well, the second premise, it depends what you mean by tautology, because the second premise is, I take it to be analytically true, but the formula that encodes it is not, like, formally speaking, a tautology. So it depends what you mean. But, like, before we get there, I just want to be clear, right? So there was a dispute over what the standard symbol for the conjunction is in logic, and I posted a standard source that shows it's
No, you're
actually
making
what
a
I just
straw man.
put. And
You're making a straw man.
if actually your own source, as Eric found in the chat, your own source says it's proposing new notation that's fucking non-standard. That's what your own source says, you moron.
Where does it say that it's new? Where does it say that?
It was posted in the chat. Because funny enough, you didn't even look at your own resources, and so he had to do the work for you. And as you can see, your own source says it's proposing non-standard notation. So it's funny that you'd even bring this up and embarrass yourself that way.
Where's the link for that?
He just pinged you with it in chat.
Logicalphabet.net.
Yeah. By the way, he didn't even know where his source came from. He didn't even know. Wow. He probably just had it saved in his images somewhere.
I did have it saved in images.
Yeah, you don't even know where it came from. That's how bad this is.
So it doesn't. My source doesn't say that it's not the conjunction symbol. It says it is. It doesn't.
Hold up, but he's saying it's non-standard notation.
All I said is that it means or else.
No, you said that I was using non-standard notation. That's what you said.
You made the claim. No, you made the claim that I was using non-standard notation,
No,
and I asked you to prove it.
then you said that I was using non-standard notation, and you asked me to provide a source of my own that used the notation I was using, and I did.
I'm not
Right, and
really
we can
sure
go through, and we can
where in this source does it say
I'm
mine is
talking, and we can
non-standard.
go through
It says that it
many
was developed in
peer-reviewed
1902.
standard textbooks and show that they all use the notation I'm using, and none of them use the one you're using.
It says that it was developed in 1902. Where does it say that it's non-standard?
I think you can't use the hard R when texting.
Okay, so look, okay, sorry, my internet froze for a second. In your source, and by the way, he had to do this himself because you're too
Yeah,
lazy
we
to look
got
at
it.
your
We
own
got it. Just
material,
prove your argument. Just prove
right?
your argument.
He
Just prove
said
it.
in your source, just read the chat. It says it's proposing a new system of notation. New as in non-standard. New, it's novel, you
I
moron.
don't know where is this? How is this
It's
related to the
it's
table that I
in
proposed?
because you said that I was using non-standard
Wait, where do you see
notation.
the table
Now it
in this
turns out
source?
that you're using non-standard
Where do you see the
notation.
table in the source?
I'll take a picture for you.
Here, I'm just gonna reverse image source it because I'm not really sure where he got that website, but that's not the website I used. I'll give you the website right now. I guess these are non-standard. I guess you're right.
Okay, cool. Finally.
Well, I didn't. What do you
Finally.
want me to do, man? Like, I didn't know.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, next time, try not to be arrogant about something you don't
I wasn't
understand.
being arrogant. I was asking you to prove it. So if
Okay.
I was arrogant, I wouldn't admit I was wrong.
By the way, now the book. Look, the book I cited you, Enderton. This is like Enderton is a pretty standard mathematical logic textbook. You can look at pretty much any textbook. Like if you search of like mathematical logic courses in universities, I can guarantee that like whatever textbook they're
Yeah, I'll just
using.
concede that. I didn't
Okay.
know. I thought it was
Okay. Now the next question. You mentioned modal logic. What do you think that is?
Like the mathematical formation of logic.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Modal logic.
So what is it?
All right, so modal logic is logic or ranges of formal systems that model things called modals, right? And a modal is something that kind of modifies the truth value of a proposition in some way. So you can have this idea where you have a proposition that says like dogs exist, and you can modify that by adding stuff like necessarily dogs exist. It could be true that dogs exist, etc. And logics that models those sort of sentential features are modal logics. So when you say, so you have like almost no idea what you're talking about, if we're
How
being
is what I
honest,
said? Wait, hold on a second. How is that misrepresenting what modal logic is? What I said?
because you define modal logic as the mathematical representation of logic, correct?
Yeah. Why is that wrong?
That's not what modal logic is.
That is what it is.
No, modal logic is a specific type of logic. Every sort of formal system is a mathematical representation. That's what a formal system is, right? Modal logic isn't any formal system. It's a specific subclass of formal systems that have certain properties.
I still don't see how I said it was wrong.
Okay. So do you
It wasn't
understand
specific.
do you understand that every formal system is a mathematical representation, right?
You can represent things mathematical formations.
Every formal logic system is a mathematical representation. You understand that, right?
I've never seen. I mean, like from my understanding, I've only ever seen logic represented in formulas as modal logic.
Hold up. Every logic has formulas. So when you say logic represented as formulas, that's literally every formal system. Right? Every formal system has formulas. What are you talking about?
Modal logics are just logics that add an extension of operators, right?
Yeah,
Like
I'm not
boxes
really
and
sure what the
diamonds.
dispute is.
Hold on. Just wait a second. Look. So every formal system has formulas. Okay. They have
Okay.
so those formulas are well formed. Some of them are not well formed. Whatever. Because like the formal language of a
I don't
logic
understand. So
is
listen. What I said was that modal logic represents logic formulaically, right?
no.
But
You
what is your
said
dispute?
you said
What is your
modal
dispute with that?
logic. You said modal logic is a mathematical representation of logic, which
It
that's what you
is.
said. That's
So why
not the
is that
definite. That's
wrong?
not what a modal logic is.
But that's what it is. But it's not. I didn't say it was precise, but it's not wrong.
That's not no. That's wrong. That's not the
Are you
definition of a
saying it
modal
is
logic.
not? Are you hold on? Are you saying that it's not? It's not that. It's not. It is
Yeah,
not. It is not a
that's not
mathematical
the
representation of logic.
definition. It's not the definition of a modal logic.
Okay, but is it? But I'm asking you a question. Is it a mathematical representation of logic?
If you're asking, is that true of the modal
Yeah, is that
logic?
true?
It's true of modal logic, but it's not the
Okay, perfect.
definition,
I didn't say it was the
right? Because
exact
that's
definition. I just
true.
said it's what it
Because that's
is.
true of every logic, right? So if I ask
Okay,
you,
if
hey,
I hold on a second,
if I
I
ask
have a
you, if
question.
I ask you what
Hold
a
on a second,
dog
hold on a second, hold
is,
on a
if
second.
I ask you
Hold
what
on
a
a second,
dog
hold on a
is,
second. I have a
I'm
question.
asking you to
If
explain
I
what a
said a
dog is.
bird, if I said
Hold
a
on,
hold on a second, hold on a second. If I say a
hold on.
bird can fly, if I say a bird can fly, right? Is that wrong?
It's not wrong if you say a bird
But
can fly. But
it's
if I
not all
ask you,
encompassing though.
if
So
I'm
by
asking you
your
to
logic, it would be
define it,
wrong.
if I'm asking, hold on, you're too scared to let me talk.
I didn't
You've
define it though.
already humiliated
You
yourself
asked
today.
me what it
Don't do it again.
was. You didn't ask for a
You've
definition. You
already
asked what it
embarrassed yourself.
was.
You're about to do it again.
You asked me
So
verbatim
you
what
did
is
not
modal
Don't do it
learn a
logic.
again.
single
Just
thing from
just
what just
listen.
happened.
You
Just
asked
listen
me
to what he
Right?
has to
verbatim what
say.
is modal logic. You didn't ask for an
I
exact
asked,
definition.
you've already embarrassed yourself, and you're
You
not
asked
even
me. Hold
showing
on a
any
second.
self-awareness right now.
You asked me what is modal logic, and then I
What
gave
is modal
you.
logic? Yeah.
I told you what it was. You didn't ask me for a definition.
No, you did not, right? Because if somebody asks you what something is, right, they're asking you to give a definition of that thing. If I ask you, hey, look, what is a dog? And you tell me, well, you say something like, well, a dog is an animal. then that would just be true of an elephant or a tiger, you fucking moron.
Yeah, sure,
Right?
it's still right.
So
That's
obviously I'm
still
asking
right,
you
though.
for a definition and you don't even know what you're talking about,
You didn't ask me
because
for a
what you just
definition,
said,
that's what I'm saying.
is a feature that any logic will have.
You didn't ask me for a definition.
Now, by the way, look what he's trying to do now. He's trying to
You're just having
weasel.
a
So
semantics
this
argument
is
with
the
me.
level of
You're
dishonesty
just
he's going
arguing in
to.
bad
What he's
faith.
trying to
No,
do.
he's not
arguing in bad
weaseling
faith.
at all.
One second.
Like
What he's trying to
the
do.
the,
What
the
he's trying to
problem
do
is
right
is
now.
we're on this side quest right now
What he's trying to
because
do
you
is
won't
trying to say,
address.
I
No, no.
actually
Why are
wasn't
we
asking
not
him to define
talking
modal logic.
about? Why are we not
This is what
talking
he's trying
about
to
your
do right now.
original syllogism?
He's trying to say, I never
You're
asked him to
still
define the term.
trying to attack his
That's how far he's
credibility
going now.
You
instead
never
of
asked me for a
going
specific
back
definition.
You're
You
just a
just asked me
complete
what it
actual
was.
failure. You're a
argument.
complete failure. You
Here's the
embarrass
exact
yourself wherever
definition.
you
You want
go.
exact
Well, we're gonna
definition.
just repost your argument, okay? So this is the argument again, just to reframe. No event is both evil and necessary for a
So
greater
okay,
good.
you can post it again. Let's be clear here.
Okay.
Let's be
Every
clear.
event
He does
that is
not
evil
know.
and necessary. Understood. Stop attacking people's credibility. Every event that is evil and unnecessary for a greater good is prevented by God. Every event is either not evil or is prevented by God. Okay? So the first premise is rejected, not good construction, and then second is a tautology. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. When you say the second premise is a tautology, what do you mean? Exactly. He's too scared to answer because he doesn't know what
Are
he
you
means. He
talking to
doesn't
me?
know what he's saying.
Yeah, Volt.
What do you mean by tautology?
Well, we already went over that you were right about the term, so it's like a moot point.
What do you mean? You said to, okay, so, and by the way, for the other person, he doesn't know what a counterfactual is. He doesn't know what modal logic is. He does not know what the standard operators are in logic. He's just completely confused.
Okay,
What do you mean when you say premise 2 is a tautology?
we're down this. Well, I mean, I thought that's where we left the conversation.
What does
between
tautology mean?
you two
What does
on.
tautology mean?
It's just an expression for something.
No, define a tautology.
I mean, I'm gonna have to find you a
Peter,
classical
you're
definition
just
for it.
afraid
No,
of
I'm super
the
define the
wait.
word
You're
tautology.
afraid of the
You want
suspense and
an
the
exact
silence.
definition, so I'm gonna find you an exact
No,
definition.
don't look it up. No, tell me what, when you said it's a tautology, what do you think you're saying?
No, because I can't give
He
you an exact definition
doesn't
on top of my
know.
head.
He does not know. He keeps saying things.
So
He
then, can you
doesn't know
give
what
me the
he's
exact
talking about.
definition off the top of your
He
head? Since you
doesn't
know the exact,
know what he's
since
talking
you
about.
know it off the top of your head, give me the exact definition.
Okay, so I would say that a formula, so sort of speaking mathematically, a formula is a tautology if it's a valid sentence. In other words, if it's true under every interpretation. So that would be formally speaking if we're talking about the formula.
Yeah,
And if we're
that
talking about
definition is
a
pretty
and if we're
self-defeating.
talking, what? Oh yeah, the definition found in like every mathematical logic textbook is self-defeating. What are you fucking talking about? Fucking
I came into
retard.
people being very mad. What's happening?
I mean,
Right,
yeah, I mean
now if
that's
we're
the
talking,
problem. Is we're down this road, so like we're very limited on how we can actually engage because someone took us down a non-metaphysical road.
Excuse me.
But
Now, if we're talking about a proposition, that a tautological proposition is a proposition that couldn't possibly be false.
it's unfortunate we're kind of down this road. Supreme, are you there? Do you have anything to say?
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of just like a
I'm
really
eating right
dumb,
now.
like exact definition like a perfect recall fallacy where I have to recall.
No, it's you don't even know what
perfectly
you're
or
talking
wrong.
about, and you're saying words, and we've already demonstrated that a lot
I
of
mean,
the stuff you
I
mentioned,
told you that it was
you
an
don't
expression. It's an
understand at all,
expression of
right?
something, right? Like,
That's not
I
what.
told you I can't give
Hold
you
up,
the exact
hold
definition
on.
off the top of my head.
Every statement
Yeah.
is an expression. You moron.
So if you ask me for a definition and then I find you the specific classical definition of it online, that somehow refutes my argument because I don't know off the
When
top of
I
my head.
ask
That's a
you
ridiculous
what
argument.
does this mean, right? We're not asking
Yeah,
Why?
you.
so I want to
Hey,
find you
we're
the
not asking you
classical
to say
definition
something
Why
that's
because
did you,
you
true of
can't
Peter? Why
one
did
thing
you
you can't
and
interrupt
talk
also
at the
him?
moment.
true of everything else. Okay, we're
You
asking you to
want me
define the thing. You fucking moron.
your definition is not perfectly precise. Like there are holes
My
in it.
definition is the standard definition, you moron.
So then put your standard definition in chat and then we'll cross reference it
I'm
with
not gonna
other
write it down.
philosophical sources.
I'm not gonna write it down for you.
Okay. Because you don't want to be taught. That's the thing.
I told you it,
can't
You're
and
follow your
afraid.
own
if
You're
you
rules.
afraid
heard
of
what
the
I
debate,
said,
Peter.
You can't follow your own rules.
How does
if
Peter
you
and
heard
nothing
what I
to say?
said, you would know what I said. Stop rambling. Stop talking over me.
You
You're
can't
such a
follow your own
moron.
rules. It's not an argument to say
Okay.
that because I
How
can't
are you
You
name
don't
not
even
things off the
know
top of
understanding
my
what
the
you're
head
talking
point?
that
about. You
don't
say
that
stuff,
somehow my argument is invalid.
and you don't know what the stuff you're saying means. And this has been shown multiple times because you're a waste of time.
So the only thing that I conceded was that the symbols I was using were
You don't know what you
non-standard.
mentioned the word counterfactual, didn't know what it meant. You mentioned the word
What
are
modal
you
did I
logic,
say
talking
about
did not know what it meant.
counterfactual? I think
Can
You
you
mentioned something
stop?
about logical
You just
operators,
detract,
did not
Cartesian. You're
understand
just
them,
detracting because your argument's weak. Your premise
right?
is weak.
And then you mentioned the word tautology, and you did
This is
not
all just
know what
detraction,
it meant.
Cartesian. Your premise is weak.
God, it's like a shame I have to deal with fucking retards
No.
like this.
Your first premise is a contradiction.
Okay.
Such a shame. What are we
Okay,
even
wait, hold
talking
on.
about?
The first
I'm so
premise is a
confused.
hold on, wait a second. No, he made a claim that the first premise is a contradiction. What's a contradiction?
Because you're equivocating between
What? No,
evil and
what is a
necessary.
What's a contradiction?
You're assuming that no event,
What is
right,
no?
is both
Define
evil and necessary.
define
Right?
the word contradiction.
It's a contradiction in terms.
What is a contradiction?
Evil and necessary. They're contradictory.
What? Define the fucking word contradiction, idiot.
Two things
What does
like
the word mean?
Dude, you're interrupting him. Let him.
What?
Stop
No,
talking.
He
he's
doesn't know
not.
what
Stop.
contradiction
Fucking
are.
question.
Peter,
I spoke
Peter,
to
he was
him.
about
Moron.
to define
Imagine how
it.
stupid you would have to be to say something's a.
All right, Bismo, please say what you were about to say.
how can a non-event, right, be both evil and unnecessary and necessary? The thing is like, I mean, I don't know, like, while you guys are like arguing, if you guys just kept going back and forth, right? Like, most people know what they mean when they
How
say
can it
modal
be
logic, right?
evil and
This is a
necessary?
right. Modal logic is just a presuppositional argument, right, from necessary. And then you're trying to use necessary in a very like narrow context of, well, it's just a terminological distinction between what can be said about one term versus another term, right? It's just an expression. But the contradiction here is that you're saying that no event can be both evil and necessary, right? Is a contradiction because how can quote unquote a something or a set be both evil and necessary? So the first premise, you just reject the first premise.
Okay, is your claim that it's impossible for an event to be both evil and necessary for a greater good?
Well, we don't even have to consider the other qualifier for a greater good, right?
No, do you agree that it's no? Do you
Yeah,
agree that it's
I
impossible?
mean, yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on. Listen, let me get my question out. Is it impossible for an event to be both evil and necessary for a
It is
greater good? Yes or no?
impossible for a no event to be both evil and
No.
and
I didn't say.
necessary.
I didn't say a no event. I said,
It
is
is.
it?
That's your first
Hold on.
premise.
Hold on.
Your
Hold
premise, you're
on. You're
predicating
too
upon the
scared.
set of no
You're
event.
too scared. You're too scared to
No.
answer.
You're
Okay.
running away. You're
You're too.
projecting now.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Now he's
You're
too scared to let me
projecting.
get. He's too
You're
afraid to let me get the
projecting and
question
being
out.
defensive because
He's
you
gonna
don't
keep
have a
talking
justification
over.
for your first
He's gonna
premise.
keep talking over because he's
You don't have
afraid.
you don't have
He's
a justification
afraid
for your first premise.
of
Like, this is a
letting me
ridiculous
get
first
the
premise.
question
You're
out
saying
because
a no event, right, is both
he
evil and
knows if
necessary
I
for
get
a
the
greater good.
question out,
And what I'm
he
saying is
will
that
be
evil
embarrassed,
and
right?
necessary are
So he
contradictory,
will
right? Even
run
as a modal
away.
expression,
He
even
will
if we were
not
to
let me
take,
talk.
even if we were to
He will
grant, right,
not
that
let
what
me
is
ask the
evil,
question
so
because
here's the
he's
thing. According to your own modal logic, right, even if we were to grant that what can be said to be evil is necessary, and that what is necessary for the greater good can also be considered as necessary, is a contradiction in terms. What is necessary for the greater good and evil terminologically are contradictory. These statements, right? You don't see like the apparent contradiction?
okay. So perfect. So he just said everybody heard him. He said that it's contradictory for something to both be both evil and necessary for a greater good. So you've conceded to P1 because
It's
P1 just
it's
says
it's it's a it's a
P1
contradiction in terms.
P1. Okay, sure. If you believe that, then you're conceding to P1
Right, but what
because
I'm saying, no, what I said earlier,
P1
right,
says there
is
is
that
no such thing.
this is a form of question begging, and you're unable to see the circularity in this. It doesn't matter what other premises try to modify or what follows from it, right? Your rule of inference doesn't matter if the contradiction is already within your first premise. Does that make sense? So
You
of
don't even
course
know
you're
what a
going to end up with a
contradiction is.
contradiction.
You don't even know what a contradiction is,
Of
man.
course your conclusion is going to end up as a contradiction because your first
Hold on,
premise is
hold
a
on.
contradiction
Wait,
in
hold on. If
terms. So that's
hold
what
on,
I'm saying.
if
If we're
wait,
to grant
hold on,
that it
hold on,
is
hold on, hold
necessary
on,
to
hold on, hold
assume
on, hold
both
on, hold
evil
on.
and also necessary to assume necessary for the greater good, You can't have both be necessary in the same way because it's a contradiction in terms.
Okay, wait. So let me just be clear. Your position.
So what you're assuming
on,
by both
let
being
me
evil
ask you
and greater good, you're equivocating between evil and necessary for greater good.
Okay, let me ask you. So your
Like,
position is
this
that
is fucking ridiculous, man. You're a
why are you so
fucking
scared?
moron.
Why are you
You're
too scared to let
literally
me
a
talk?
fucking idiot. This
He's
is a
trying to evade.
nonsense level of
okay, we have to be
equivocation.
nice to them now.
Sir,
I'm gonna let you finish so we can just engage.
address how it is not a contradiction of the first premise instead of just running away.
Okay. But we have to be
You're being
nice to them so
defensive for no
that they
fucking
won't run
reason.
away.
Like, I'm sticking to the same critique that I gave you for attacking your first premise over and over again.
I hear you.
Right?
I hear
You're
you.
going
Okay?
ad hom trying to criticize other people, trying
Good.
to engage within your modal assumptions to begin with, which is fine. We don't necessarily have to do that. But for the sake of conversation, we did because you insisted that people didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Okay. Meanwhile, you're just gish galloping around trying to detract away from the problem that your first premise is a fucking contradiction.
Okay. Let's try to. Is your claim? Let me make sure I understand.
Because I'm granting you even the modal expression that what is necessary by the term evil, right, is assumed, right? But we can't hold it to be the same assumption that we can hold for necessary for a greater good. Clearly, there's a terminological, even if we were to grant the modal expressions, both modal expressions, there's a terminological contradiction. We don't even have to talk about the metaphysics of what's being assumed by evil or greater good. It's a terminological, just in the utility, right, of the words that are being used is a fucking contradiction. And so you're question begging.
So let me make sure I understand your position. Is your position that it is a contradiction to say an event is both evil and necessary for the greater good?
That ain't no event. Stick with your premise, sir.
No, hold on. Okay.
You're trying to invert your premise.
Okay, fine.
There's no life raft there.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Let me explain.
We're going to stick to explain to me how evil and necessary for the good are not a contradiction in terms. Explain to me how it is not a contradiction in terms without appealing to metaphysical assumptions. Because I've granted to you, or we granted earlier in the conversation, now that we're down this fucking modal logic fucking retarded spiral, that we're not gonna question or allow for metaphysical propositions. Fine. So then explain to me how there is no terminological contradiction within the two expressions, right? Necessary evil and necessary for the greater good.
Okay.
How is it not a contradiction in terms?
Let's try to figure this out. So, do you know what a negative existential
What is the categorical referent for evil in relation to the category of no event? And secondly, what is the categorical referent for necessary for a greater good in relation to no event?
When you say no event, you have a confusion about negative existential.
No. Here's the thing about even the negative existential. The negative existential allows for this null set. That's it. The set, the subject is no event. That's the expression we're allowing for. Here's the thing. You can't claim to make a non-metaphysical statement and then try to go, oh, well, now we have to establish the metaphysics of what an event is. Can an event be negative? We're allowing you the negative existential as a modal expression. So stick with the non-set of events. That's it. So show me how, right? It is not a terminological contradiction. Okay, so how are you resolving your terms? How are you relating the necessity of evil, right, to the null set of event? And secondly, how are you relating the necessity for the greater good to the null set? That's where we're at in this fucking conversation, right? Because I'm allowing you to try to demonstrate how it is not a contradiction in terms.
When you say no event, right, you understand that
if you can give a definition or a categorical referent for both of these that is not contradictory, then we can move on to the second premise.
Hold on. When you say you understand the first premise is expressed in a negative existential, right?
So
hello?
Are you claiming that events exist, or are you claiming that events do not exist? We're not assuming this question when you propose, right? No event as a set. We're allowing for it within the modal expression. We're
But you
allowing for it.
no, you
Your
don't know.
job,
Stop
sir,
using
your
words
job,
like modal.
sir, is to show how there is a category, right, of necessary evil and a category of the necessity for the necessity of the greater good that can exist within the null set of no event. Does that make sense?
No,
You
you're
can't
confused.
attach it to
You're
right.
confused about
It
what
would be
no event is
circular for
saying,
you to assume
right? So
that
no
both
event
can
is
exist
talking
without
about a negative
contradiction
existential,
in the set
right?
that does exist.
So
You see
if
what
you
I
have
mean?
a
As an
negative
event.
existential,
We're talking about the no
what it's
event
saying
set,
is that
sir.
in the set of
No,
events, right,
no.
there's no
You can't
event that
assume
satisfies
you're
both
making a
properties,
metaphysical
right?
assumption
So it's this negative
about the set
existential,
itself,
right?
and then you're
So it's
nullifying
saying
it.
of
But that
all
is no
events,
longer
there
a
is no
modal
event you will
expression,
be able
sir.
to find
That's
that is
no
both
that
evil
no longer
and
becomes a
necessary for a
modal
greater
expression.
good, right?
No. You're just making a weak appeal to, do you know what a negative existential is, without understanding that we're allowing you for the modal expression. Does that make sense? And then you can't just try to appeal and say, oh, well, there's this whole other metaphysic to it. We're not allowing for that. It's just a category of no event.
Negative existentials, okay? They say
Dude,
that there
stop
isn't an
appealing
event
to the
that
fucking
satisfies
system.
both properties, right?
Stop appealing to the
Now,
system.
nothing we're talking about has anything to do with modal logic or
Do
modal
you deny
expressions more
then that
generally.
what you're predicating
Okay?
is a null set? Are you denying that? Is it true, sir, that your first premise predicates upon a null set? Is that true?
I don't know what you mean by predicates upon a null set.
Okay, then we're no longer engaged in negative existentials.